All right.
What's up, everybody? When somebody gets on, let me know if you can hear and see me okay, hear and see us. That way I know that I'm not talking to myself, although I'm not opposed to such things. I am here with Legiit, and we will be getting into the story and what he does in just a few minutes. But first, I want to give everybody a chance to jump on. So like I say, once you get on, let me know if you can hear and see us okay. I am SEO King, says, way to go, Nix.
Hey, man.
SEO TKO says, how was Snetterton? I don't know what that is.
Not sure who's that.
I don't know what that's all about. Jim says, I can hear and see you just fine. Awesome.
Yo, Jim.
And we've got people still rolling in. In fact, let me go ahead and see if I can't pump out a little email here while we're doing that. Can you hear like the ducks in the background?
Yeah.
Snetterton was the raceway you were racing motorcycles at. God, wow, that's a great memory. I won, is what happened there. I won the Snetterton race.
Really?
No, I'm making that up. A few weeks ago, I was doing a live stream, and somebody randomly, some like racing racetrack in the United Kingdom, like randomly tagged me and said I was in the race. So that's what he's talking about there. I'd completely forgotten about that, but Jim doesn't have shit else to do, so he remembers. Yeah. Keith says, hi, Chris and Nix.
Yo, Chris. Hey, sorry, yo, Keith.
Wasis says, yo, yo, yo.
Hey.
Keith says, sound okay. Awesome. All right, I think we might as well get into it. It's pretty late here on the East Coast, so we don't want to waste any more time. Nix, how's it going, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on board, boy.
No problem. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to it. You have some unique stuff that you do, and I think people will be real interested in it. But before we get into that, why don't you give us a little bit about yourself? Tell us how you started, where you came from, how you got into SEO or whatever it is else that you do, and kind of your origin story, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. I used to be basically I used to be an ad guy. So I used to work in an ad agency for a few years, in fact. And I ran 2 digital agencies before I became what I am now. So I used to run a full-fledged digital agency that we were doing 360 stuff, online, offline, that kind of stuff. But SEO was never part of our, I would say, strategy. I mean, those days, 6-7 years ago, even though SEO was important, but it was never part of our strategy in terms of digital. So I ran 2 digital agencies, sold it off. Then after I did that, I had a massive burnout while running those digital agencies, and I took a sabbatical for a year. So during my sabbatical for a year, I was just like kind of bumming around, just thinking what I need to do, because just how you say, thinking about life, I would say. Then one fine day, while I was on Facebook, I saw this guy called Alex Becker. Like everybody knows Alex Becker, right? And I saw him talking about something about SEO and all. I mean, I knew SEO then, but I was like, oh, this guy's pretty entertaining. He was doing all some funny shit, like talking about some stuff, and it was pretty interesting the way he was teaching SEO. I would say something unique than those dry stuff that was SEO, right? So, long story short, I joined one of his courses. I think it was Source Wave or something like that, where there was Gregory Ortiz and Stephen Floyd and all. They were teaching some stuff. I just wanted to know more about SEO and see what it was about. Or basically dive deeper into it. And then lo and behold, he launched Conquer, right? That's where I think I met you, Chris, Conquer, and started doing. So when I went to Conquer for the first time, I saw like, wow, this is a huge marketplace for SEO, and they were having PBNs, and everybody was selling backlinks, right? PBNs and all kind of stuff. So I was just looking at it and said, what can I sell here that is different from everybody else? And press release was the one, because I hardly found anybody that was selling press release at the time. So I started selling press release, and I'm here now selling press release still. I think from the Conquer days until now, it's about 5 years, 6 years now, I have not moved my services from anything else besides press release. And I know I get a lot of flack from you, Chris, for not having more than one service in the marketplace. But I'm pretty focused on what I do in terms of the press release. Yeah, so that's where I am now today, selling press releases, still media press releases and all that.
So that was like an overnight success, right? You had no struggles at all, and no, it was just instantly started being successful.
Yeah,
I'm
was
being sarcastic. Like you went. It was hard to get started, right? Like you had some.
Oh yeah. I would say one advantage I had was that I understood a little bit about branding, a bit of marketing, and from like the others who were starting out on the marketplace, because I sold off my agency, so I had kind of like a 2-3 years kind of a nest if I didn't have any income. So that was something that I did right, I would say. The challenges was, okay, how do I understand the marketplace and how do I put up a service and all that? That was a challenge for me because it was something new to me. And I was, so yeah, there were challenges, of course, in the, but what I would say is that because I had kind of like a safety ground, it wasn't that much of a challenge for me in terms of if I didn't have any income or I was just testing products. So I didn't really care because I just wanted to know how this worked, right? How Conquer works. Could I make a living from being a freelancer? And I think I can, and I think I did, right? And yeah, in terms of success, yeah, I made it there. From Conquer, then from Conquer I went to Legiit. And I'm not going to go back to agency life anymore. This has given me too much of freedom and make a decent income from here. So yeah.
And one thing I remember you telling me a while back was that in the beginning you were losing money on every order. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's the basic strategy, right? So it's like you put out a service and you just keep on testing, right? So I was like undercharging everything just to get contacts, just to get sales, just to see what people are talking about and see how when they use my services, how they felt it was and all that. So I was just kind of doing like that kind of reviews. So I'm just giving out tons and tons of it and was just losing money and for every order. But what I was doing is basically I was just testing my writers, testing my distribution, and seeing whether the clients who were coming to me, the SEO guys who were coming to me, find any benefits from it and getting feedback and getting testimonials from them. So to me, it wasn't so much of losing money, but it was just getting a lot of feedback, a lot of data from them. So I could use that data for my marketing and for further push of the product. That's what I was doing there. So I didn't mind losing some money first in the initial stage just to get all the data I can work with.
So would you advise other people to do that if they can, like to lose money in the beginning, like in order to build up a reputation and make connections and learn things?
Definitely, right? I mean, if you can. I mean, I'm not asking you to go on a 3 months binge and just lose money for 3 months. No, you got to be pretty tactical about it. I did that because, like I said, I could do it. But if you were just starting out, you need to have some sort of a plan, right? A strategy. You don't just go around saying, "Look, I'm going to give this at cost or the lowest than cost and lose money for a couple of 3 months and can't continue after that." You got to be pretty strategic of how you want to do it. And even when you do it, you need to know, okay, when I do something, if I give this at cost, for example, what am I going to get out of it in terms of the data? How am I going to use the data? So, and how long can I sustain myself? Or basically, how many orders could I go on? Like, for example, 10, 15, 20 orders before I have enough data that I can use it for my marketing and build a rapport, authority, or basically build some relationship with this particular clients so that they can promote me and all that. So it has to be something with strategy, not just blindly just going and say, look, I'm going to give it for free and hope that it works. It usually doesn't. You have to have some sort of strategy there when you do that.
Okay. And yeah, like not everybody's going to be in a position where they can afford to lose money like right from off the get-go.
Yeah.
So, but
definitely.
you were, I don't want to say you were fortunate, but I guess you were kind of fortunate in that you had a position where you could do that. But what you really said there that impresses me is how much you talked about testing. A lot of people, and it's going to sound like I'm being not nice, but a lot of people just want to throw up a service and just start getting sales. And it didn't work like that for you at all, right?
No, it didn't. It didn't. I tested a lot. And one of the things that when you are starting something like this, right, your main focus is it's not so much about how do I get a sale, because whenever you are desperate for something, right, it just comes across and everybody knows you're desperate for it, right? So it needs to be, for me personally, right, when I went into the marketplace, my main objective was not to make money on the marketplace per se. My main objective on the marketplace was this: how do I build relationships with these clients, and how can I build a long-term relationship with these clients? So it's not just about, hey, come buy my press release, it works for you. My main goal always is this: how do I build relationship with a particular client? And some of the clients who I serve in Conquer followed me to Legiit, right? And they are on Legiit now, and they're still buying from me, because what I do is I tend to build long-term relationships with anybody I work with. I try to. If they hate me, then they hate me, right? But I try to build as much relationship as I can. And sometimes I do free consultation with them on Messenger. Because at the end of the day, I really do want them to succeed. That's my real goal. I really want them to succeed. If they use my services and it doesn't work for them, then I would say don't use my services. If it really doesn't work for them, if everything has been done and been tested and it still doesn't give them the benefit, then please don't use it, because then it doesn't bring you any benefit, right? I would say, hey, maybe try something else, try a guest post, try PBNs, or do an audit. And I would recommend anybody who I know who does a good job to these people to get the results that they want. So I'm into the relationship building more than just say, hey, just buy my services, right? Because I don't believe in that anymore. I think this is the age of relationship and not about just selling, right?
Yeah, and one thing I know about you too is that you are very much into helping other people, right? Like, can you talk about why that's important and how you want to give back and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I started with that Learn, Earn, Return series, right? I'm sure people are sick of seeing it, but what I'm saying is that whatever I'm learning now, and I got a lot of mentors, right? And free mentors, like for example, like Chris, like you were one of the guys who mentored me, even though you didn't know it, but you did mentor me in terms of groups of setting up groups. Because when I first started, I didn't care about Facebook, I didn't care about groups, I didn't care about anything, right? I don't even have a website until now, and I'm getting a lot of flack for that too. But you advised me on, look, set up a group, good dude, set up a group, dude, do this, do videos, do that. So there are a lot of mentors who I've spoken with online, and and they have helped me a lot. They've given to me free content, free advice. So I'm now saying, look, since I have all this information, all this knowledge, and with a lot of people coming online, and with the COVID thing, and people are just getting devastated with all that, losing their jobs and income, it's time to give back, seriously give back without any returns. So, because if you can give back something without any returns or expect any returns, it's just not, I don't know, man, it's just like good karma to you. Honestly, since I've been doing that, my business has picked up tremendously, right? Because it's like people are referring me to other guys, and I'm getting a lot of agencies coming to us and wanting to use our services. So I think that is good. Like whatever I learned, and I made money from it because of the advice, I'm going to give back to the community and whoever. That's why I always say, right, in my videos, if you need any help, message me. If you need any consultation, message me. If you need any help, message me. I'm available on Messenger 24/7. I don't sleep, Chris. I'm a vampire. You know that. So anybody who message me, I will help them. But don't message me with, hey, dude, you want to get exposed? Just message me, and if you need advice or you need help, I would help, right?
Yeah, and I don't know, that's something that I think we have in common, is that I give away a lot of time and effort, and I really do feel like the more you give, the more you receive. Not that I do it in order to receive, but it continually comes back to me whenever I do something. So it's one of the things that I like about you. Why I wanted to make that point here is so. Let's go ahead and take some questions, and then we'll talk about press releases a little bit.
Yeah.
Kathy says, "Hi guys." Hello, Kathy.
Hey, Kerry.
I am SEO King says, "You folks are amazing." Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Jasvinder says, "Good morning, guys." Good morning.
Good morning.
SEO TKO says, "Hi, Chris," and "Hi, Nix. Great to be here. Great to have you
man.
here." Ravi says, "Hi, Chris and Nix."
Yo, Ravi.
Jim says, "Solid proof of concept of the principle. Do one thing and do it really well." I definitely agree with that. I am SEO King says, "Press release works. I can vouch for Nix." Barack says, "Hey, lads." Jim says, "Don't be afraid to reinvest in yourself. Sometimes you have to eat hot dogs today to eat steak tomorrow." I kind of like a good hot dog, but I get your point.
Yeah.
Wasis says, "Definitely a good lesson in the losing money / testing phase." I think I remember you having a whole stream on that, Chris. Probably so, because I definitely agree with it. Rafiq says, "Good morning, sir, both of you." Good morning, Rafiq.
Morning.
I am SEO King says, "Well said, deliver massive value first." Yeah, I mean, that term gets thrown around a lot, and a lot of people say they're giving value or really just taking another approach to sell you, but I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about press releases themselves. That's kind of it is your specialty. It's kind of what you're known for. So let's talk about why you decided to go that route. How do you use them effectively for SEO, and anything else you want to talk about with them?
Okay. The first time when I decided on press releases, besides when I was on Conquer and I didn't see anybody selling press releases, when I got into the internet marketing world, I would say, right, I wanted to do affiliate marketing first. I was like researching about affiliate marketing and all that stuff. And I met a guy who said, "Hey, do you know that you can do launch checking?" I was like, "What the hell was launch checking and news checking and all that?" So I said, "How do you do that? I mean, how do you do launch checking and news checking?" He said, "It's for affiliate marketing. You can do that." And he was giving me the concept, right? He wasn't giving me the actual how it works. He said, "You can use something to call press releases and you can get in the news and blah, blah, blah." I said, "Okay, let me try." So what I did is I tried affiliate marketing for a very, very short time. And at that time when Google didn't put any, restrictions to news, right? So I will launch a press release. I would try launching a press release, pre-launch of a product from ClickBank or JVZoo, launch and post-launch. And I was making decent income from that, using launch checking press releases. So I was like, it works. I would hijack a keyword. They say, for example, XYZ review, launch a press release and it gets indexed and comes out in the top news. At that time, when Google didn't cut off top news, it appeared on the top news within a couple of hours of launch. And I was making huge amount of commissions from just from launch checking. And the thing is that it still works today. We have tested a couple of launch checking for affiliate marketers, and when we launched it, and because now with what we are doing now, we know how to do it well because we've been doing it for a couple of years. Whenever we launch something, a particular press release, and because it gets indexed so fast within 24 to 48 hours, your news gets to Google News, and if the keywords you select is appropriate and correct, you actually get on page 1 for that particular keyword pretty fast. And that's launch checking basically. And we also hijack the news, in fact. So those were the things that we were doing, and that's how I got into press releases basically. I saw the power of press release, and at that time, not many people were using press releases. So I was like, this is an opportunity. I could dominate the market with press releases. I could dominate the whole world with press releases. At that time, I was just thinking about that. So yeah, so press releases were good for us. Yeah.
Okay. And I know somebody's going to ask about it, so let's go ahead and head that off right now.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, maybe Google had said something like that they specifically said they don't work and stuff like that. I know that you have an opinion on. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you have an opinion and some data on that. Can you just go ahead and
Yeah, but they said that, then after they changed their minds on that. So, I mean, I know I know SEO people who have used press releases. And I mean, we have lot of testimonies for that who actually make it work. So for me, right, personally, whatever Google says, I'll do the opposite of it. I don't trust Google. Simple as that. Okay, whatever they say, I'll kind of do opposite of it. I know a lot of people would not agree with me on that, but I don't really care, because the reason is whatever Google says, whenever Google says something, and when you do the opposite of it, it usually works better. When you know what I mean. It just works. Like for example, they say no follow doesn't help you in your rankings. It's not true. It does. I've seen SEO people who use no follow links and get sites ranked. Right? It's just not only do follow, it's just how you do it, right? So I don't fully take whatever Google says. If they say something, okay, press release doesn't work. So at one time when they actually did say that, I had a lot of questions, right, coming to me, say, Nix, your press release won't work now because Google says it won't work. So I said, did you test it? Has it been working for you all the while? See, yeah. So keep on testing it until the day it doesn't work for you. 100% it doesn't work for you. Then we believe what Google says. If it still works for you, then go ahead and do it. I mean, there's no harm, right? So until now, I mean, Google has said that a long time ago, and a lot of people have come to me and said, hey, it doesn't work, because I read this news that it doesn't work. So I said, test it. Have you tested it? When they tested it, said, hey, look, it works, man. It still works. I said, exactly, it still works. So I mean, I mean, your test is your data, right? It's not, because it's no point me telling you, hey, I got this case study and that case study and it works. I said, test it for yourself. I'll give it to you for free to test it. If you don't believe me, I'll give it to you for free. And I've done that a lot, right? I've told a lot of SEOs who don't believe that it works. I said, look, I'll give it to you for free, right? You test it and you give me the data, and you tell me whether it works or not for you. And in a lot of cases, it does work. And so I don't know. Is Google lying? I don't know, man, Chris. So it's like I hear a lot of SEO saying that, right? Like, hey, do the opposite of what Google does, and it works. I don't know about you, Chris, but
I mean, I do what works. I don't really care what search engine journal tells me doesn't work.
Correct.
If you want to check out Nix's press release service, you can go to nixlead.link. If not, if that may take a minute or two before it shows up, but we got that. So in addition to launch jacking and just brand awareness, what are some other things you can do with them? Can it help with Google Maps at all?
Yeah, it can help with Google Maps. So we've tested pretty much with GMBs and Google Maps, and it works pretty well. Like again, right? So this is something I need to put out, right? That the press release is not the ultimate solution for all your ranking problems. All right, you still need to do your due diligence, right? If you are doing work for a client or for yourself, or whether you are a business owner or whatever, right? You need to do your due diligence, meaning you need to do your website well, you need to put up content well, you need to do your keyword research well, you need to do your technical audit, your on-page audit before you launch a press release. A press release is just part of a strategy that an SEO would use to give a site a boost. For example, if you have done everything, you've done content, you've done audit, you've done everything. If you've even done PBNs and build links and it still doesn't move, a press release might give you that boost, because maybe it just adds on more authority to your site or whatever. Then you would use a press release, right, to boost that. So in terms of, even comes with GMB, right? If you optimize the GMB well and you launch a press release, you would see some move in the press release, because how we would optimize the press release would work for you. We would embed a map into the press release and all that kind of stuff, all those technical stuff that we will work with you. And I would ask you first, what are you using a press release for? Is it for GMB? Is it for ranking? Is it for just exposure? I always do ask them that. Every client that we work with, we always ask them, what is it for? What is it for? And don't try to use a press release for everything. Like you try to rank a keyword, try to rank GMB, try to rank everything. So it's a mess. Or you try to put everything into the press release. It doesn't work that way. Okay. If you want to use the press release for GMB, use it specifically for GMB. If you want to use it for ranking, use it specifically for ranking. Don't try to do everything at one go just to save a couple of bucks. It doesn't work that way. it just won't work. We've tested it before, it doesn't work. So it has to be very, very specific. If it's for GMB, then we'll optimize the press release for your GMB. Then you'll see a huge amount of success in that. If it's for to rank a keyword or website, we would do that too. So it's all optimized differently for each particular cases that we will do a press release for.
Awesome. And I found that one of the things with press releases is the opinions that people have on it is that they either think it doesn't work at all, or it's like this complete magic page one bullet. And it's neither of those things.
Yeah, it's neither of those things.
It's just, I use it in my strategy. What I do is like my first month is all like on-site and technical and building a little bit of a foundation, and then, you know, some citations, some social profiles and all that stuff. And then like maybe even a domain authority stack. And then I go to a press release, because that way there's something there. Like you can't just throw up, it's not, you know, 2012 when you can just throw up a one-page website and do a press release and you rank. It doesn't work that way. So
definitely.
So let's go to the audience again. Barack says, I was waiting up for this last night only to realize it wasn't for another 8 hours. Sorry about that. It's working internationally like I do is very challenging to remember what time it is for everyone. So
yeah, that's right.
Adams says, good morning. Thank you guys for this. Well, thank you, Adams. IC says, excellent point on relationship building. That kills churn rates big time. Well, it's also just the right thing to do. Like you should get to know people that that are taking the trust in you to give you their hard-earned money to help them. So I really believe that, and I preach that a lot.
I'll just interject with that, right? So what I think I spoke to you about this, Chris, before. I said like the marketplace wasn't a place for me to just go and make lots of money on the marketplace. I think I told you that I use the marketplace to build relationship out of it, and to build long-term relationship with clients, and to find for agencies, because we had a model whereby we were looking for agencies, and where better place to find than a marketplace like Legiit? Because I mean, you guys have you and Jim and the whole team, right, have been working really hard on Legiit, and it's a really great marketplace. I mean, I've used SEO clerks before, I've used Fiverr before, and when I came and Conquer, right, and I came to Legiit, and you guys are really invested because your time is really into it, and you have full investment into the marketplace. So you guys are working really hard to make it good. And which marketplace? I mean, I know that you buy ads and you try to promote the marketplace as much as you can. So for those starting to come into the marketplace like Legiit, right, it's not just coming there and just sending out as many services as you want, but you need to have, like again, it's a strategy. Like, how do I build a relationship with the first client that I work? How is my customer service with the client? Am I taking feedback from that client? You know, when I came into Legiit marketplace, my main goal was this: build relationships with SEO agencies, right, and have them for long term. So from the marketplace, honestly, from the marketplace, and from referrals, we have built up to 185 agencies who are working with us right now in the span of like few years, right? And that's a lot. And that has sustained us pretty much. And that 185 agencies that we have built relationship with, we are still keeping as close relationship to them as possible. And I do message them pretty regularly and how things are going, okay? How's business and how's that? So that's this. I'm just talking to them as a friend, right? Not as from a business point of view anymore. So if you have a strategy on a marketplace, because a marketplace is such an opportunity for anybody to do a business, to run a business effectively, because you guys are advertising, you guys are doing all the technical stuff, you guys are hosting it, you guys are doing everything in the marketplace. So for someone to come to a marketplace like Legiit and says, I want to put up one small service and I just don't care about it, I just want to make some fast money out of it, and I don't care about the service and I don't care about the quality, you are just wasting your time, and you're wasting the effort, and you're just giving you're just spoiling the marketplace, right, by giving shitty work or shitty services.
You're also missing a massive opportunity. Like
exactly
those $5 or $10, not to like pat myself on the back, but like all of this, everything I'm doing right now all started with a $10 service on a marketplace that I built into a community and into relationships and into, 2 and soon to be 3 multi-million-dollar businesses. So
I mean, if take you for example, right? If just say if now I was coming into the marketplace, right? So this is advice for all of you who's watching or freelancers or want to come into the marketplace, right? Take Chris for example, right? Chris started from a marketplace like Conquer or whatever, right? He built an entire brand. He built a community of 60,000 people, a tribe, right? A tribe of 60,000 people, and a marketplace that goes in the millions now. Take that as an example, selling a $10 product. How did he build it? So I look at your journey and I look at it pretty well. So I look at what you are doing in terms of your community, and sometimes I slap myself for saying, why didn't I build that community earlier? Why didn't I do that earlier? I know that you even bought domain names to point to your YouTube channels, right? You just redirect it to your YouTube channel. So
I
all those
bought one while we've been talking to point to your service.
Okay, so I mean, all those strategies is out in the open. I would say don't just like ignore it, right? Look at what Chris is. I mean, I'm talking to you guys now, right? To the freelancers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at what Chris is doing and model it. It's a successful journey. It's a successful model. Just model it. I mean, it's crazy if you don't, right? It's crazy if you don't. Yeah, and you're giving it for free too. So that's the best part, right? So there's no how I say there's no excuse for you not making in the marketplace, because you have a lot of models, a lot of champions who are doing it well in the marketplace. All you have to do is ask, model, and make it your own, and you'll be successful in the marketplace, because the marketplace, like Legiit, is here to stay. And I loved it that when you said that your vision for Legiit is the next Amazon, the marketplace like Amazon, to build it as big as Amazon. So if you have a founder that is having that vision in the marketplace, and you go to and you get access to this marketplace now for free, right? And you don't use it, it's just plain stupidity and insanity. I would just say that, right? I mean, why wouldn't you want to plug into a marketplace that has that great of a vision, right? I mean, it's just crazy, right? So, I mean, this is my rant. So
That's right.
Yeah.
And let's see, where were we? Nick Davis says, if you haven't tried, use a press release from Nick's with one branded and one naked homepage anchor plus multiple superstar SEO guest posts. I've ranked one-word terms with this approach. PR is amazing. He also says PR is amazing for cleaning anchor ratio to your site. So let's tackle these one at a time. You usually do 3 links in a press release, right? A branded, a naked, and a keyword. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
That's what you found it to be the most effective?
Well, we move it around still, all right? Sometimes if the site is, or for example, right, a guy who buys a press release from us, and I ask him, say, so what have you done backlinking? Oh, I've done PBNs. I've done a couple of PBNs. I've bought a few backlinks and all this kind of stuff. But I still want to have an exact anchor link to my site. I'll say no. I'll just tell him flatly, no, don't do that, because it's going to kill you, right? Because I don't know what you did, what kind of links you bought, and that's the thing, right? So, for example, I had a case like this. So the guy bought some PBNs, and he bought some guest posts, and he got some links, and he did everything in that single week. And he came to me and said, look, Nix, I want to buy a press release to push it up more. So I said, dude, you just bought all the stuff, and you're pointing all the stuff to your site. And the press release, you want an exact anchor, and you're still pointing to the stuff. I said, I don't think you should do that, because you might kill your site, or you might tank your site.
And blame you.
Yeah. So I said, why not you wait for a couple of weeks and then you get a press release?
Yeah.
So he's like, no, I want it now, because I said, no, I'm not going to give you a press release, because why? If anything happens to the site and the press release was the last thing that you did, you're going to blame the press release.
Yeah, right? That actually addresses a big problem I see in SEO a lot, is they're not patient enough. Like in general, I think that's a big problem. I see, in fact, I get that question a lot. What can I do to push my rankings up really fast? I'm like, nothing. There's nothing you can do to push your rankings up fast. This is not If you need quick traffic, you need to do advertising or
That's right.
social media or email or something. But
Yeah.
this is a long-term strategy, and it is a strategy. It's not just, as much as I hate to say this because it does kind of take away from what I want people to do. It's not just buy 1, 2, 3 service with no strategy and then you rank. You have to have a strategy. You have to do it over a period of time. So that's why I always tell clients at a minimum 4 months, but usually 6 months before we can get them to page one, if they give me the budget to do it.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
PR is amazing for cleaning anchor ratio to your site. Yeah, I've used it that way before.
Yeah.
And if you want to check out Nix's service, you can go to nixlead.link. I literally bought that while we were talking and forwarded it to your Legiit service.
All right.
And I bought one that I thought that you would not use, so I didn't want to steal your brand name. But nixlead.link. Wasis says, can you use press releases and send them to affiliate sites if they have SEO value alongside guest posts, PBNs, etc.?
Yeah, definitely. You can.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's one piece of a strategy. A lot of times I do it before I get to guest post and press release, to be honest, because I think it helps build up the trust of your site a lot to have all these high trust. I don't want to say authority, because when I say authority, people think I mean Moz, but I mean these high authority sites pointing to your site. And also another thing about press releases that you haven't mentioned that I find value in is that clients are really mesmerized by them if they don't really get what they are. Like you can show them that report of you being on ABC and Yahoo Finance and all this stuff, and people are like, wow, that's amazing. Which it is amazing, but it's not as amazing as they think it is. But it's a great way to use that too.
And if you're looking to get new clients, that could be one thing that you can use. We have tried it before using, we call it media exposure, right? You just making it fancy, right? But what I've done is like just recently, I've spoken to a salon hairdresser, and I did the same thing, right? Got in the sale. I didn't speak to her about SEO. I didn't speak about anything technical about SEO because she didn't understand what SEO was. But when I told her media exposure, so using a press release to get a sale or to get into the door of a client, it's the easiest way and the cheapest way of doing it than going there and trying to pitch to the client all that long pitch and SEO and all they don't understand. So you could use a press release, as simple as a press release. Go in there, close the deal for less than $100. Get some movement for them, right? And show them the results and the report, and they'll be like, "Wow, you mean I got into all this news? What's next?" Because it's a high for the clients. What's next? What else can I do? Then you go on and sell all your other services and talk about them, right? So that could be a doorway for you, or a foot into your client. So yeah.
Actually, my good friend Michael Hicks, when he's not in SEO anymore, he does real estate now, but we kind of came into actually through Source University also. We came into SEO through that, and he had a tremendous success doing exactly what you used to say, or what you just said, is that using a press release to get clients. Like, it's an expensive way, so you might want to make sure it's a good lead before you do that.
Yeah.
But he was closing like the day he started by doing a quick press release. And it was a little bit cheaper back then, so it is a bit pricier now, but that's a great way to close a deal for sure. If you have that to invest. And again, don't do it for every lead because that would get costly, but when you think it's a really hot lead that you got a good shot, that's a good closer, I think. So definitely. I'm glad you brought that up. There's a couple questions posted somewhere else because this is kind of funky sometimes. Nick says 10 out of 10 can vouch for Nick's and Chris being helpful. Well, thank you. Alexis says, would you recommend for someone who wants a PR for their brand new site offering SEO services, or is that a little premature? So they're saying they've got a brand new site. Is that the time to do a press release, or is that premature?
Yeah, you would do a press release for a brand new site. So, okay. A press release is okay. Let me give a 101 of press release, right? So, okay, what a press release is used for, right? A press release is used as an announcement. A press release is factual, meaning it's a press release, right? So, for example, if you have a new product, a new service, a new staff, you move location, and all that kind of stuff, you need to announce to the press saying, "Look, I got a new brand. I have a new website." Branding website, right? And I need to announce to the whole world that I have a new website with new content and new services. So you would use a press release for that. It is totally natural to Google for you to run a press release based on that, because you're announcing to the news sites or to the journalists or to the media saying, hey, I got a brand new website. So a lot of, if you look at a lot of established companies, big companies like Amazon, Apple and all, right, they use press releases extensively for their brands, right? Because what they want to do is they want to control the narratives. They want to control what is said. So if you have anything new, it could be even a new blog. You launch a new blog, you can launch a website. You can launch a press release. You launch a new website, you can launch a new service. Anything that is new, or you have something to announce about, right? You can use a press release there. So it's totally fine to launch a press release for a new website. Totally fine. No issues with
that. Keith, excuse me, asks, this is probably a hard question to answer, but how long do press releases take to have an effect? And how long does that boost last on average?
Okay, so you can see usually an effect within 2 weeks. If everything is done, like again, if everything is done well on your end, you should see, I'm being conservative here, within 2 to 3 weeks, you should see a boost. All right. Mm-hmm. If there are special unicorn sites that when you launch a press release and within 24 hours from page 80 goes to page 1. So that's something still we have no idea how that works and why it works, right? It could be something with the algorithm. I don't know, right? Because there's some things that we really do not know. We just test and it works. But usually you would say within 2 to 3 weeks, and the boost will last within maybe around 3 to 4 months before it starts purging. So once the press release starts getting purged, all right, you tend to see a slight drop. So that's why we always say do a press release once a month. It's like part of your necessary strategy once a month. Okay, so launch a press release once a month for any campaign or any SEO that you're doing. We would suggest or recommend once a month. That should be more than enough.
Wow, that's a lot more frequently than I do them. You think that once a month is good?
Yeah. Once a month is fine. Once a month is fine. Yeah.
That's interesting to know. Keith says, that's interesting that you can tailor it for GMB. I didn't realize that.
Keith, you should just ask me, man.
I am SEO King says, for new sites, what would your press release strategy be like? I guess we kind of just answered that.
Yeah.
Jim says, I've been using Nix's press releases for years for all sorts of things.
Yes.
Awesome. Barack says, I often get confused about foundation links. Are they 2.0s or social profiles? There's not a hard and fast definition. The way I use it, as I mean social profiles, I mean web 2.0s, and I mean citations and some other oddball types of links as well. But usually anything like that that's built on somebody else's domain that you can build a nice property around that's branded to your site. That's what I call a foundation link. Other people might have different definitions. SEOs love to debate shit, but ultimately I think that's the closest definition. So think about the term, right? Foundation. When you build a house, you build a foundation, and that's what the house sits on. Same kind of thing you're doing with your links. So hopefully that makes sense. Lassist says, yeah, Legiit is amazing, to be fair. Everything about it. Why, thank you. Brian says, hi, Chris, Nix, Jim, and all. What's up, Brian? I haven't seen you.
Hey, Brian.
Wassist says, Brack, a little of everything, kind of free links that you can create online, like article submissions, web 2.0s, etc. Some people just do web 2s, but often a mix. There you go. Wassist, thank you. Fernando says, cheers. Cheers, Fernando. Jim says, Nix dropping knowledge bombs, legit family for life.
Yeah, Jim.
One thing I like about these evening live streams is there's nobody else in the building now, so I can talk loudly like I like to, as opposed to trying to be considerate, because I do share a wall with somebody. So
okay.
It's a therapist, actually, and I hear some interesting things come through that wall sometimes, believe me. Assist says, no problem. Chris will explain it better than me, but they're used for diversification versus aggressive links. We learned about them a couple of months ago too. One of the streams actually was where I asked about them. Haha. Okay, great. Thank you. Wassa says, if you were to have local clients from the UK, could the press releases on Legiit still be useful? Will that still be relevant enough?
Yes, it is. It doesn't matter. All right. Which
That
country
actually is a
you're
good question. Is there any countries that you can't do them for or anything like that?
No, it doesn't matter, because a lot of it is if you're doing local SEO, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it comes from. We have done for clients in Australia, New Zealand, UK, Africa, Asia, still using the same distribution like us. Because think of it logically, right? If you were looking for a particular product or service, right? You would type in the keywords, right? You wouldn't actually type the company's name unless you know the company or it's a big brand, correct? You would type a particular keyword that comes out, and whatever that's relevant to your keyword or whatever you type, and then Google feeds you, you would click on that link and you read. So have you ever gone to a site that wasn't in the UK? That, say, for example, you were in the UK and you were typing out something, and that site that pops up was from somewhere from the US or from another country, and you went to the blog or to the site and you read about the information, and you got the information that you want. That site might not have been from the UK. So whatever Google feeds you is based on your relevancy, right? It's not based on your location. Sometimes it's based on location. Like, for example, maps is based on your location, right? Or certain specific things are based on your location, but a lot of it is not based on your location sometimes. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, we have done for clients in the UK, and they have got success with it. And we have done from all around the world. In fact, they have got success with it. We have even done for clients in the Middle East, and they have got success with it. So it doesn't really matter, actually. I mean, from my perspective, it doesn't really matter because it works for all clients.
Awesome. I always forget to ask questions like that because I always get, does this work in this country or this, so I got to remember to ask that with pretty much everything that we do.
I mean, if you're doing branding, if you were doing branding, specifically branding, and you want it to appear in your local news, then of course it matters, right, where it comes from. But from an SEO's perspective, I know that some will disagree with me, but from what we have been using, what we have been testing and delivering, it just doesn't matter anymore.
All righty. Jafar says, spy and PR releases seem interesting. They are. Marcus says, when you send the PR to the GMB, what do you use for anchor text?
We could use the exact keyword that you want to rank for the GMB. Usually that particular keyword will be linked to the GMB exactly. So it can be the exact anchor that they want to rank, because we're not pointing to the website anyway, so it's pretty safe. So you can use an exact anchor. It doesn't matter.
All right. Roheen says, hey, Chris and Nix, how's things? Roheen, I literally could not be better. I hope you're doing well as well.
Yeah, man.
Lonnie asks, do you recommend rank and rent or regular SEO for someone's site? I despise rank and rent personally, but it's, everybody it has its place. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad or anything like that. I just personally don't like it at all. So that's just me. That's not just me, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I have no comments on that because I don't do it at all. So
let's see. Oh boy. Skills Ariz says, I want to say thanks a lot to you, Chris. I'm just starting a local GMB for the first time, my first online earning, and I made $400 in just 3 weeks before. I'd never earned that much online before. Well, thank you so much, man. That really, you have no idea how much that means to me. So I'm very happy for you, and I know that's just the beginning, but I'm always glad to hear that, and it really does mean a lot to me. So thank you. And I'm going to screenshot that. So let me add that to the collection here.
Yeah. So you can use press release for your branding and marketing exercise, right? There's something that there was a quote that Marty from Master Positioning on his group that he posted something about what's the difference between brand and branding, right? Mm-hmm. And Stephen Black, we all know Stephen Black, right? The master, mm-hmm. Right? He posted something really, really interesting. He said something about the 3 C's, right? Like brand is about the 3 C's. Is I think so. It's content, customer service, and community. Content, community, and customer service, right? Something that you have done pretty well in what you're doing with Legiit in your business, right? Posting up lots of content that's relevant, build a community, and customer service. And I know that you put a lot of emphasis on your customer service, right? You can. I think so. I diverse from whatever I'm saying now. I can't remember what I was trying to say. So, but anyway, but you can use a press release to do a lot of branding. But if you have those kind of messaging, whereby your content, you can use you can use a press release to promote your content. You can use a press release to promote your community. You can use a press release to promote how good your customer service is and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I kind of forgot what I wanted to say.
All right.
Yeah.
Skills says he is SEO rating legit. Cool. Well, let's take a look right now, actually, because we haven't brought this site up on the screen this whole time. So let's take a look. Look at that handsome devil.
Yeah.
This is Nix's service. If you want to check that out, you can find it on Legiit, or you can go to nixlead.link and look at all the great reviews. So it's great service. I've literally been using it for 5 years.
I know that you put a lot of emphasis on your customer service, right?
Getting some feedback there.
Yep.
All right, and then let's check out skills here. Let's see, users, SEO rating. Excellent. You got a nice profile there, so I'm glad you're doing well. So everybody, check out SEO rating here and see how he or she does. So let's get back into it because we're kind of running short on time. Man, time flies. We're selling fries. Keith says, thanks for the answer. That's Nix. That's great. Brack says, thank you, Chris. And I am SEO King says, if my service is local, how would a press release help me get locals to give me business?
Like what we said just now. Okay, so I give you a local experience, right? SEO King. Like what I did with the local salon hairdresser was a hairdresser. So when she came out from the lockdown in Malaysia, she was looking for business and wanted to promote her business and to let people know that she's back, she's open up again. So what we did is we launched a press release for her to show that, okay, look, she started her business and she's giving a certain amount of discount that if you come into her store to cut your hair, to color your hair, whatever, right? So after the press release was launched, we told her, take that press release, go to your social media and post up a few links of the press release into your social media, all right? And share that same link with your clients. So how we got the business from her is basically, we just promoted a press release to her. Say, look, you need your shop is going to open in a couple of weeks. You need to tell people that you're going to open, right? Want to launch a press release. So she asked, so I told her that it was a media exposure. So I said, well, would you want to get into the media to tell people that you're going to open and that you are sanitizing your shop and you're doing all the relevant stuff that you need to do so more people can come back to your shop so you get more business? She says, yeah, sure. I would want some release, some news. Most local businesses would want some sort of media exposure or news because in their minds, for local businesses is this, right? To get into the media or to get a press release done is extremely expensive and it's extremely hard to do. And I have no idea how to do it. You are providing a solution to them saying, look, I can get it done for you within 24 to 48 hours. You can be in the news very fast. I'll write it for you. I'll publish it for you. I'll do everything for you without you having to do anything. In most cases, a business, when a local business owner hears that, they will say yes to it. Because it's not expensive. You're going there with like what, $100. They can afford $100 to launch a press release. So in most instances, they will say yes to it. I've hardly got anyone who says no to it. I mean, maybe one or two clients who have ever said no to it because they didn't want it at all, or they just didn't have the money for it or whatever. But whenever we approach local clients here, and Malaysia is really hard, right? Because they're pretty close to this kind of online stuff sometimes, right? So talking from a local point of view. So whenever we say, look, get you into the media, get you some news coverage and all that kind of stuff, in most cases, they always say yes. So that's something that you can use.
All right.
Yeah.
Raj says, hello, guys. What's up, Raj? Nick says, you can also run a PR and send backlinks to the PR to choose what ranks on page 1 for your brand?
Yeah, that's stacking. So Nick has done stacking, and Nick works with me. He's a pretty good client. He knows his stuff, and he provides services on Legiit too. So he has used our PR services quite a lot, and he's experimented with it a lot. So he knows his stuff. So go check out Nick's stuff on Legiit. He got some good stuff.
Yeah. Craig says, "Hey, Chris and Nix, missed the first half of the stream, but we'll watch it afterwards. I'll be getting a press release from Nix very soon."
Awesome. Hey, Greg. Cool.
Raj says, "We save releases on our website as PDFs. Do search engines search PDF documents?" Yes, they do. I know that because, well, I just know it, but I also know it because I once did an audit for somebody and I saved it as a PDF and I just put it as media on my site for them to download it. And I forgot to remove it and it got indexed and she was not happy about that. So I had to take that down.
Yeah.
Brian says, Nix, you started with the difference between brand and branding. Okay. Bragg says, what do you guys think of editorials? Are they overkill for a single country or single city business?
What do you guys think of editorials? Are they overkill for a single country, single city business? I'm not sure, but editorials are different from press releases. Press releases are factual, so editorials are a different thing altogether. That is basically, most of my editorials are done on their local newspapers. I personally have not seen anything good from editorials that we have done for local clients, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's an overkill. You can do it if you can get it into editorial. It's fine.
All right. This is interesting. Jafar says, do you have a smaller package like for people with limited budget like him?
Yes, I do. Just drop me a message, Jafar, then we can work something out for you. And see how we can help you to build it bigger. Yeah, sure. Just drop me a message. I'm willing to help you out.
Awesome. Raj says, thanks, Chris and Nix. Thank you, Raj.
Thank you, Raj.
And we are caught up on questions. So we got about 3 minutes left.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to talk about?
No, man. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm an introvert, so I've nothing to say. I just talk to myself most of the time, and no one listens to me.
Well, so everybody knows Nix was very nervous about this because he told me the same thing, that he was an introvert, and I think it's been a fantastic interview, a fantastic session. So if you guys enjoyed this, do me a favor and thank him for taking the time to come on. This is not something he normally does, and he's something I think that you all benefited from, were able to benefit from. But seriously, thank him for taking his time. I learned a lot from it, and I hope you guys did as well.
Yeah.
Raj asks, we got a few more questions. This is from Swanathan, says, do you do PR in India? I've used your services once. Are the links permanent?
Not all the links are permanent. So there is two types of PR, right? One, we have the higher tier that the links are pretty permanent. Like if you go to Yahoo Finance and all that, those links stay on for 5-6 years. Yes, we do submit to India. If you need it to be submitted to India, specifically to some India news portals, you have to let us know in the order so we can do that for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Raj says, what do you think about posting press releases on LinkedIn group sites? I think LinkedIn's a fucking dumpster fire, personally. I wouldn't waste my time on it, but that's just me.
Press release links on, what do you mean by press release link? Just posting the links on there?
I'm not really sure what that question means exactly. If you want to clarify for us, we'll try to grab it before we jump off of here. Nix, I will definitely call you, man.
Please do.
Wasis says, this stream has been incredibly interesting. Thanks, Chris and Nix. Skills says, thanks, Nix. What about me? You already thanked me. I'm just giving you a hard time. Keith says, you've done a great job, Nix.
Thanks, man.
Barack says, thanks, Chris and Nix. You guys are legends.
And forgive me if I spoke too fast, right? So
no, you're fine. You're fine. I actually get accused of talking too fast all the time. Brian says, Nix, it doesn't show from this end that you were nervous. You did well. Congrats.
I'm sweating, Brian. I'm sweating. See.
Viswanathan says, thanks, Nix. And I'm going to say thank you, Nix. Also, I
Hey,
know
thanks, man.
I had to twist your arm a little bit to do this, but I think it was a great session. You're
Thanks,
all going to want to, I'm going to drop your link one more time. Do you have anything else you would like to have people do? Where they can come find you or anything like that?
I'm always on Messenger. So drop me a message most of the time. So, okay, I've started this no work thing on Saturdays and Sundays. So if I don't reply to your message on Saturday and Sundays, do excuse me, because those are...
Your wife made you do that, right?
Yeah, wife made me do that. If she sees me on the phone, she will probably kick me out of the house. So, but I'm available to anybody. I mean, I'm sure some of y'all have messaged me like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I still answer your messages. So I'm always on Messenger. I use Messenger a lot because I feel there's more personal for me to just to talk to you on Messenger via email. I hardly check my emails. So don't send me emails because I have a policy of checking emails once a day only. I don't check emails after that. So Messenger is the best place to get me if you want something urgent or you want to just want to talk to me. So that's fine. That's the best place to get me.
All right. Any words of wisdom before we wrap this up?
Don't put me in a spot, dude. Okay. So one thing for any business guys, right? Just know your goals. Okay. Dominate your position. And do right the first time. And be diligent in whatever you do. I'm launching a series of where I talk about 8 things that you need to do, and one of it is diligence. So if you're in my group, just check it out. The first post I posted about diligence, about doing something right the first time and doing it right and going to deeper. So if you want to know more, check it out. I'll be posting it up here and there, but just know your goals, what you want to do.
I'll drop a link to your group right now. It's called Content. What's it called?
I can't remember, Chris.
Come on.
SEO and content marketing. Yeah.
Okay.
SEO and content marketing. Yeah. With press releases. SEO and content marketing with press releases.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know it's long.
There it is. It was easier when it was Spine PR. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm just testing stuff, right? I'm just testing the keyword. Yeah.
Check that out too. Here is a link to Nix's group, and we got. Thank you both for very informative. We appreciate it. Awesome session, folks. And there is where to go. There's the link to Nix's group. It's basically groups/Spine PR. I've messaged you, Nix, on Legiit. All right, I think that's going to be good. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm not going to lie, I want to go home. So thanks a lot, Nix, for joining us today, because I know it's early there. I don't want you to miss your Saturday morning cartoons. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up today.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Hey, thanks for having me. Seriously, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. We'll do this again sometime down the road, but I appreciate it. I learned a lot from it. I hope everyone else did too. This will be up on YouTube and Facebook for all eternity. So if you missed the beginning, middle, or end, you can check it out. And most importantly, figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to the world. Talk to you soon.
All right.